In a pivotal moment for the United States economy, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell recently testified before Congress, declaring that the economy is no longer running hot as it did during the pandemic. Powell's comments signal a significant shift in monetary policy focus, from merely combating inflation to balancing broader economic risks. As he contemplates potential interest rate cuts, the pressure mounts with the November presidential election on the horizon. The question now looms: can the Fed navigate this delicate balancing act without jeopardizing the economic stability it has worked so hard to restore? In a significant update on the state of the United States economy, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell addressed Congress, asserting that the economic landscape has shifted from the feverish pace seen during the pandemic. The economy, he indicated, is no longer in a state of overheating. The job market, which once seemed to be running beyond its capacity, has now settled into a more balanced state, reflective of pre-pandemic conditions. Powell's remarks suggest that the case for lowering interest rates is gaining traction as inflation pressures begin to ease and the labor market stabilizes. During his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee, Powell emphasized that the Fed's focus must now extend beyond just controlling inflation. He acknowledged that the economy faces two-sided risks, which involve both the threat of persistent inflation and the potential for economic slowdown if rates remain too high. Powell's stance reflects a nuanced approach to monetary policy, considering the broader economic picture rather than adhering strictly to inflation metrics. The political context adds complexity to the situation. With the presidential election approaching on November 5 and only two Fed meetings before then, Powell faces scrutiny from both sides of the political spectrum. Democrats are concerned about the impact of rate decisions on job growth, while Republicans are wary of the effects of inflation on households. This political backdrop highlights the challenges faced by the Fed in maintaining its independence while responding to economic and political pressures. Powell's testimony also touched upon the Fed's approach to monetary policy. He indicated that while the labor market has shown signs of stabilization, the Fed is not ready to commit to a specific timeline for rate cuts. Instead, Powell's comments suggested a more flexible, data-driven approach, where future decisions will be based on evolving economic indicators. This approach aims to balance the risks of both economic overheating and insufficient growth. The Fed's current policy rate has remained in the 5.25% to 5.5% range since July 2023. Recent inflation data has shown some improvement, but Powell emphasized that further positive data would strengthen the case for a more accommodative monetary policy. The recent stability in inflation, coupled with a slowing job market, suggests that the Fed may soon consider a rate cut to support continued economic growth. Powell's remarks were also framed by ongoing debates about housing costs and proposed changes in bank regulations. Housing has been a significant contributor to persistent inflation, and recent trends suggest that price pressures in this sector are starting to decline. This development, combined with concerns about the job market, indicates that the Fed might prioritize managing recession risks over inflation control in the near term. Despite the current economic stability, Powell warned that leaving monetary policy too tight for too long could undermine economic activity and employment. The goal is to sustain economic growth while managing inflation and employment risks. This delicate balance will be crucial as the Fed navigates its policy decisions in the coming months. Investors have been watching closely, with a significant probability assigned to a Fed rate cut in September. This anticipation reflects a broader belief that the Fed may need to act to prevent an economic downturn. The Fed's next policy meeting will be a critical moment for determining its approach to monetary policy. In conclusion, the evolving economic landscape presents both opportunities and challenges for the Federal Reserve. As Powell prepares for his next testimony in the House, the focus will remain on how the Fed will address the dual challenges of inflation and economic growth. The path forward will require careful consideration of economic data and political pressures. How do you think the Fed should balance its policies to navigate these complex economic challenges? Share your thoughts and opinions on the future direction of U.S. monetary policy.